Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at some old school models that are making a return, including Yarrick, who is back, but with no rules, but we won't let that stop us using this cool miniature in our games. So in this video we'll take a look through the article showing us all these old models that are going to be available to order on a limited time basis, and so we can add some of these to our collection for some painting projects or use them in our army as proxies for other datasheets. So let's get started looking through all these models individually and seeing how we can add these to our collection. I've recently made a couple of videos about the 3rd edition Imperial Guard Codex and this Imperial Guard Collector's Guide, which was really fun to look through and see some of the older models. So if you're into this kind of thing, I think you might enjoy those. I'll link them at the end of this video. If you've been watching the previews lately, you'll see that Games Workshop are re-releasing some of these older models from different factions and giving you a limited time to order them, and they're putting them in a cycle, so they seem to be coming back time and time again to order. And it's been a little while since we've seen the likes of Creed here and some of the other older models in resin and metal, but now we're getting a chance to order them again, and they're going to be classic kits. But it doesn't say when they're going to be available. It just says they'll be available very soon. So we're probably going to see these in this Sunday's pre-order preview, I expect. But here's the first one, Lord Castellan Creed. This one's going to be coming back in resin, and this might be a good substitute for Ursula Creed. Personally, that model's not for me. I can't imagine that in my collection or leading my army. I'm just not inspired to paint it or play it. But the problem now is Lord Castellan Creed is not included in the new Astra Militarum Codex, so you're not going to find his specific rules in there, but there's certainly no reason why you couldn't use the Ursula Creed datasheet and then just use this model. I mean, it's going to work no problem at all, and everything makes complete sense. The weapon options, the abilities, it all works. So if you like this model and you want to include him in your army, recreate some old battles maybe, then you can certainly do it just swapping over the model and using this datasheet. He's in this very static pose. There's not an awful lot going on there, but I really like the model. I bought it last year to go with my Astra Militarum army, and I'm really glad I got him. It looks really cool, I think, and it'd be fun to include him in some different army lists. Probably once you start doing the bigger lists, I think he would get a place and would fit in. And so, yeah, I'm happy I bought him, and now's a good chance. If you missed out and you wanted to get him, now you're going to be able to. Before we take a look at the next model, I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate your support for helping me to keep going with these daily videos. We've got lots of changes coming to Patreon over the next few months, so I'm very excited to share that with you soon. And if you'd like to join Patreon, support the channel, I'll put links in the description down below. It'd be great to see you there. Next up is Severina Rain. Now this is a really cool model. This was come out for, I believe, the Black Library Special Edition, and I'm really glad I picked up this model too. I wasn't going to get it, but my son liked it, and so I thought, well, we've got most of the models for the Astra Militarum, why not get this one too? And yeah, it looks really cool. I'm glad I got her, and she's a really good addition to the army. I think the model and the pose is fantastic, and it definitely is one of those models that looks better when you actually get it in person. Now, as far as rules goes for playing Severina Rain in your game, this is just going to be a straight up use of the Commissar datasheet, so that's a really easy one. You may even want to use the Cadian Castellan rules. That could give you another option, but I think she'll fit in to both of those roles. If you like this model and wanted to pick up one, then she's going to come in resin, and it's a bit of a newer model than the others, so it's a lot crisper. The details are really well done, and so yeah, a lot neater and tidier than some of the older metal and some of the older resin models. You're also going to get the chance to order these 5 classic Commissar miniatures. So these are really cool. I saw some of these on eBay at one point, and also in some of the older books I was looking through, and some of these are really cool. So this is going to be a nice chance to pick up some models that you might not have had a chance to get in the past, but now you can. I think they're going to be individual. It doesn't say that they're going to be like a bundle, and there's going to be 4 cast in metal, but one of them is going to be in resin, which I think is this one. It says the 5th wielding a sword and bolt pistol, and I think this one out of all of them is probably my favourite. The details on it are really great. All the different medals he's got are brilliant. The cloak looks awesome. His face with all the scars is really well done, and yeah, lots of character with this model. So I think out of all of them, I really like this, but this one coming up is pretty cool too, with the Power Fist. So I like that they're doing this, giving loads of options for the commissars, and I like the old school models. I think with the Space Wolves especially, I really like the older Firstborn characters, and even the derpy looking Ragnar Blackmane I think is fantastic. So nice to see that we're getting some options for the Astra Militarum too in this old school vibe. Here's another pose. And so, yeah, you're going to get the chance to add some variety with your army if you like playing commissars. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the commissars, especially with the older rules. I didn't really enjoy playing them, but I'll be doing it in this new version because I think they've done a lot better with the rules and the orders and things that they can use. So I think it could be a good time to start looking into expanding my collection of commissars. But out of all these 5, I would probably just be going for the first one if I get any at all, because they are only going to be available at the Games Workshop website, and as we know, there's no discount there. They can be quite expensive, and so without that 20% saving that you can get at places like Wayland, Element, Firestorm Games, it is a bit pricey, but still, you know, these are some classic models, and if you want a nice painting project, it might be worth spending that little bit extra money and getting something you've wanted for a while. As far as rules go for these, really easy. Just use the Commissar datasheet from the new codex and you're good to go. They're going to fit in really nicely. They're going to work, no problem at all. I think everything makes sense with what they're kitted out with, and you've certainly got the options to give them the power sword. As far as the power fist goes though, it doesn't seem to be an option there. So that's one thing that, you know, you could just tweak it and homebrew it as long as the person you're playing doesn't mind. It's really not a problem, and I think you're going to have to with some of them, especially Yarrick, who's coming up soon. Next, we've got 2 classic Inquisitors. I haven't seen these 2 before, so really interesting to see the look they've gone for. And I think painted in red, they just look crazy. I think I might go for a different colour if I was to get them. But these 2 aren't for me. Although, again, if you're looking to pick up something you wanted in the past, or you may even have owned these and maybe got rid of them when you were younger, now you want to get them back again for that hit of nostalgia, then this could be a good option. But some, yeah, interesting looking models, and you could certainly use the Inquisitor rules. The weapons all fit in with this data sheet for them, and then you could have them as like a extra addition to your Imperial Guard army, no problem. Alright, now we're on to the final 2 models and the main man himself, Commissar Yarrick, and you're going to get the chance to get 2 different models. The original one was from the 1990s. That's the one you can see on the right with the lobster looking claw. That one is going to be in metal, and then you've got the more recent one on the left, which is in resin. That's the one I've got. Personally, the metal one isn't for me. I'm not feeling that lobster vibe coming from that one, but the one on the right I think is a fantastic model. Really cool. Certainly fits in with all the tanks and everything. He would be great to use as a tank commander. Just, I mean, a bit expensive again buying this resin model directly from Games Workshop just to cut the top half off him for a tank, but it would look really cool in a special project. Using Yarrick with the new rules, I just don't think it's going to work. With the Commissar datasheet, it just doesn't fit in with everything he's got. You know, with the claw, the different pistols he has, Baelai, it's just not going to work. So I think we can rule out that one. But looking back at the older rules, I don't see why you can't just grab the old datasheet and just play it. Again, if your opponent's happy, there really is no reason not to. You're going to recreate some older battles, maybe go up against some orcs, that'd be great fun. And so you could just use this old datasheet. I think it fits in fine. This shouldn't be a problem at all. And, you know, who cares about balance too much? It doesn't really matter. So you could have fun, include him in some narrative battles, and just use the old datasheet, which you can easily find online, so you don't have to worry about buying any books or anything like that. So although it seems a little bit odd that Yarrick's been taken out now of the narrative, or has he? Maybe he will be making a proper official return, who knows. It's great to be able to get the chance to pick up some of these old school models. I love looking back over the hobby, over the decades, and seeing how it's changed, and it's really fun, I think, for the nostalgia vibe to pick up some older models from time to time and add them to your armies. Of course, another cool option with this model would simply be to stick him on Lord Solar's horse, like Chapter Master Valrak suggests. That would be a great way to bring that model to life, and I think a lot of us would love to see that. So there we go, there's some old models that will be soon available to add to the collection, and I'd love to hear what you think about these. Which is your favourite? Will you be picking any up, or has their time passed and you're not going to be getting any at all? Let me know in the comment section below. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. I think it's really cool from time to time to see these models cycling back into the system, and it's really great alongside all the newer products we're seeing, like the different box sets, the boarding actions and everything. And what a great time for Warhammer 40k. I think all the changes so far to the rules has been fantastic, and check out all those videos on my channel to keep up to date with the changes. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and don't forget to hit that notification bell too to join me here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Game.